All right, today we're diving into a classic short story by G.L. Fuentes called A Letter to God. It's this incredible tale about faith, about human kindness, and about a jaw-dropping ironic twist that really makes you think. I love this quote because it perfectly sets the stage for our story. It's all about that invisible connection, right? That deep down belief that you're connected to what you need. But what happens when that signal gets completely misunderstood? So let's set the scene. Our story takes us to this isolated valley where we meet our main guy, Lencho. And for him, life is pretty simple. It really revolves around just two things: his small field of corn and his absolute, unshakable faith in God. So who is this guy, Lencho? Well, the story calls him an ox of a man, which is just to say he's incredibly hardworking. He's also deeply religious, super optimistic, and he kind of has to be, right? Because his family's entire survival depends on getting one good harvest a year. And as we jump in, everything's looking great. The corn is ripe, the field looks perfect. All it needs is one good rain shower to make it a fantastic harvest. You can just feel his hope building. But of course, this is where things take a turn. This hope is the perfect setup for the story's first big conflict. It's that classic tale, isn't it? Man versus nature. And what starts as what seems like a prayer being answered, well, it turns into a total catastrophe. So yeah, Lencho gets his rain, and then some. A strong wind kicks up, and those welcome raindrops suddenly morph into a brutal, destructive hailstorm. The very thing he was praying for ends up being his complete ruin. And the aftermath, it's just total devastation. The story uses this powerful imagery. His beautiful, green, promising field is now completely white, as if covered with salt, just gone. We're talking absolute destruction here. Not a single leaf left on the trees. His entire corn crop, his family's food and income for the year, is wiped out. In the span of about an hour, Lencho has lost everything. And Lencho's reaction is just gut-wrenching. He tells his sons that even a plague of locusts would have left more behind. Just think about that. The hail, which he thought was a gift from God, has left them with literally nothing. Now you'd think this is the moment his faith would shatter, right? But nope, not even for a second. Instead, his unwavering belief pushes him to do something, well, something truly extraordinary. He decides to write a letter. It's such a simple, direct, almost childlike act of faith. He's got a problem, so he's going to go straight to the top. He takes an envelope, and for the address, he writes just 2 words: to God. And his request is just as direct. He's not asking for vague blessings or strength. No, he's very specific, very practical. He needs exactly 100 pesos to plant a new crop and to feed his family until he can harvest it. This is where the story shifts gears. We move from man versus nature to something different. That letter actually lands in the hands of a postmaster, and it sits off this incredible anonymous act of charity. And the postmaster's reaction is just perfect. At first, he bursts out laughing. I mean, can you blame him? A letter addressed to God? But his laughter quickly fades, and it turns into this deep admiration. He's so moved by this man's pure faith that he decides he simply can't let it be broken. So the postmaster decides to become a kind of secret agent for God. He puts in some of his own salary, he gets his employees and a few friends to chip in, and together they manage to scrape together 70 pesos. He puts the money in an envelope and signs the reply with a single word: God. Okay, so this is it, the moment everything has been building to. Lencho gets a reply, a miracle delivered by the hands of kind strangers. But his reaction is, wow, it is not what anyone expects. This is where the story's powerful irony just slams into you. He doesn't show even the slightest bit of surprise. His faith is so total that, of course, God wrote back, that was a given. But when he counts the money, he's not grateful. He is furious. He immediately jumps to one conclusion: there's been a theft. And who does he blame? The post office employees. He calls them a bunch of crooks, completely convinced that they stole the missing 30 pesos. And there it is, the beautiful, tragic irony laid bare. Lencho, who has absolute faith in God but zero faith in humanity, ends up condemning the very people who saved him. And the postmaster, whose only goal was to protect a man's faith, gets accused of being a thief for his good deed. It's a perfect example of situational irony, where the outcome is the total opposite of what was intended. So, what do we take away from this? Well, the story is a masterclass on the double-edged sword of blind faith. It celebrates the quiet power of human kindness, but also shows how easily good deeds can be misunderstood. It really boils down to this core conflict: having faith in the divine versus having faith in your fellow human beings. And that leaves us with one final big question. For Lencho, trusting an unseen God was easy, but trusting the people right in front of him, impossible. So which do you think is truly harder, having faith in the divine or having faith in each other? Let us know what you think in the comments, and hey, if you enjoyed this explainer, make sure to subscribe for more.